had a lot of rain and wind over the past week or two, so we've definitely taken a hit. It hasn't even been dry long enough to get out and do foliar feeds at all this week, or I think my last foliar feed was middle of last week sometime. And the temperature's dropping, so we're about to end the season here. But there are lots of ripening peppers, both hot cherry and jalapeno. Got to come through and do some harvesting here. Maybe we'll do some pickling or drying or something. Got to preserve some of these. And tomatoes are still growing. There's definitely a lot of blight or rot coming in with the rain. Hard to keep good plant health when you're just not getting the sunlight, and then you add rainy, damp, wet, cool weather to that, and conditions are really ripe for molds and funguses to kind of dominate. However, there are still some beautiful cherries on here. Take a look at these big beefsteaks. A few rotters hanging here. I gotta come through and clean up, harvest out some more. Maybe I'll harvest some of the blushing ones and box them. Interesting, you can see a massive difference in plant health between like this post here and that one there, and then we switch over. The difference is these 4 plants were started later and were stressed a little bit earlier in their growth life, but they were all I had left of starts to finish out the row. And so when I planted this row, I planted the best quality ones to the least quality ones, headed toward this lemon verbena here that makes the divide between the 2 varieties of tomatoes. And so at this point in the season, it's quite evident which plants had more health and nutrition and were less stunted earlier in their growth, and which ones weren't. These ones still have some pretty tremendous luscious growth on them, and they're still filling in fruit. Trying to see, I don't see any new flowers coming on them, so they're definitely at a slowing phase in the season. Oh, there we go. There's one. Anyway, that's the difference. Again, very definitive critical points of influence difference. That's just the difference between a week or 2 of stunted growth and bad treatment, and not early on in the plant's life. Yeah, so just thought I'd share that. The dwarf blue jewel corn it's a tasty corn. I like the color. I don't like its growth habit. It's too short. Woodchucks get into it really easily and do damage, as you can see. I've wiped a few out, but there's more here, and they won't stop. So I probably will not grow this variety again, at least not for anything from a production standpoint, because basically it's a sweet corn you'd have to fence in just like you would a cabbage or beans or something like that and protect from woodchucks, and so that makes it very difficult. A more standard sweet corn that stands taller and sets its ears up high, the woodchucks don't get to it and find it, and so consequently they don't keep coming back seeking more of it. So just a comment on that. You can see I've started doing some tilling in here. I want to get this soil cut up, and if the rain ever drains out of the manure pile I want to pull from, I'll bring some more goat manure in here and we'll get this finished up. Preparation for garlic planting. We'll be replanting seed from this year that we produced. A couple of rhubarb plants are doing good. The rosemary and actually all the herbs and potted plants from the greenhouse are doing really well. Oh, that's wonderful smelling. They're pretty happy and healthy. This olive is glad to have its new pot. Been in there for about a month now. You see new growth, shoots coming out. The ginger is cranking this year. Really cranking. Very proud of that ginger this year. The one avocado tree that was stunted when I got it has remained quite stunted despite good love and nutrition and health. So I probably will just clip that out of there, given it's so far behind at this point. And then this other avocado tree, these are both given to me by my friend Chester. This one is rocking and very happy and healthy. So that one will carry on, and perhaps next year we might even get a small avocado out of that. Who knows? That would be cool. The turmeric that's in with this avocado is doing really well. Got some nice big leaves. They're getting a little bit of yellow streaking in them now. I don't know if that's too much rain, not a right nutrient profile or what. I have to look into that. The citrus trees are all doing pretty well. They've got lots of new vegetative growth on them. They've kind of filled out nice. Something's been chewing on this chaya tree. I don't know what. This chaya, actually there's two of these, I think. I think so. Chaya tree was given to me by a breeder friend of mine. This is a Mexican perennial, I guess, and if you steam the leaves you can eat them like spinach. I guess they can't be eaten raw. They have to be steamed. This is the almond verbena in flower. You can see we got bumblebees, honeybees jumping around in it. This stuff smells so incredible, fragrant and sweet when it's in flower. So I guess that's most of the potted plants. Those are doing pretty well. Most of the rest of the farm I've been mowing under and prepping for fall. We do have the orange Hawaiian Marigolds cranking along pretty well over here. There are some peppers in this row. Red Mercury, I think they are. They're filling out. There's some green peppers on there, but nothing red yet. I love these orange Hawaiian Marigolds. These are tall, beautiful, wonderful flowers, and of course they have medicinal value as well. I went through and picked some of these and put them on a drying rack last week, and I should do some again in the next couple days here. The other previous sweet corn patches have been mowed under at least one cycle. I have to come back and clean that up, but I think I hit a yellow jacket nest in here when I was mowing it, because I started getting chased by yellow jackets, so I let up on mowing for a little while. I did find a holy basil, actually two that volunteered here. One I transplanted out and put into a pot to go in the greenhouse, and this one I'm letting go to seed a little more, and I'll collect seed from it, and I'll have holy basil again for next year, which is an excellent herb if you haven't used it or mess with it. It's super medicinal. It's also called Tulsi, T-U-L-S-I, and it's an excellent medicinal herb for so many things. And when you take a leaf of this and smell it, there is such a wide profile of smells in there. Everything from licorice to fruity with a little bit of cinnamon. It's just a very complex terpene and flavonoid profile. And even a little bit of bubblegum smell in there. Anyway, this stuff is excellent for health, for cooking, for spicing up dishes. And I'm really glad a volunteer came up. My friend Monica, who was helping me this year, and I were both looking for holy basil early season. I dug around, I couldn't find my seed. I asked my mom if she had any. She couldn't find her seed. Monica couldn't find any in her collective, the Long Spoon Collective out of Saugerties. And after a point we kind of gave up. So when I came out here about a week ago and discovered these two plants, I was near ecstatic. I was very happy to find this. So we'll have holy basil seed for next year, so that's exciting. Let's see. Chicken tractor is in play on the old corn lot here. I'll continue running them up and down this for a while and try and get the soil built up a little better. A lot of amaranth seed in here from the weeds that came up through there, so I'm kind of I'm supplemental feeding them, but also letting them eat up the amaranth seed and scratch and dig and, you know, tear it up like they're supposed to. Let's see. A couple lemon verbena here are doing well. Citronella in the pot. It's doing okay. The Texas Tarragon is rocking. I get a whole tray of this drying. Actually, it's just about dry inside. I probably will harvest another tray full of this. You can use this a lot like Tarragon. In fact, there's an excellent video from an Australian woman all about this stuff. And so maybe I'll put a link in the description of this video to that video, because she really goes into how it can be used medicinally, food-wise, its growth cycle, propagation. The late Kennebec potatoes I put in are doing pretty well. We've actually got some flowers coming out of those. Nice to see. So I think we'll get a few potatoes out of those, despite a weird season. Got some surviving. You can see where I clipped out some of the Texas Tarragon. I really kind of did a hedge clip on it. And then some of these potatoes down here are really cranking, so that's nice to see. The leeks are doing pretty well. Starting to size up a little bit now. That's nice to see. Some good growth in here. Actually, they're sizing up quite a bit since I last checked them out. The scallions are doing well. You can see I mowed out the middle patch between leeks and scallions and the sweet Thai basil and stuff. I'm going to come through here and collect some more seed. I've collected some. I will collect some more. I might even dig up and transplant a couple of these into the greenhouse. We'll see. Also have some other basil seeds to collect here. And especially this plant. I believe this was a sweet Thai basil as well. But this one is monstrous. And it makes me wonder if it isn't crossed with something else. Because it had the sweet Thai taste to it pretty much, but its leaves are a little bigger, the leaf structure is a little different, and the plant stature is much larger than your usual sweet Thai basil. So I definitely will save seed from this and propagate this forward for next year. That's a really nice one. This sunflower is a volunteer. There's a bumblebee in it. This one intrigues me because it doesn't have that brilliant yellow. It's got kind of like a pale yellow. So I thought that was interesting. And actually, looking close, you can see the pollen that's fallen out of that onto the leaves. So that's an interesting opportunity for observation. Guess we'll go down and look at the sweet peppers. These are doing pretty well overall. I should have got mulched down heavier, and I should have watered them much heavier earlier on when things were really dry. But we are getting some nice peppers out of them. I've been taking a pepper and an onion and some tomato and some grass-fed beef and cooking up a little dish every night. That's been nice. Definitely could do better, but you know, it's all about improving from year to year. The Romas are pretty much done for the season. I let off on foliar feeds on them about 2 weeks ago because they're just not going to produce a whole lot more. And certainly as weather and temperatures continue to shift in the fall direction, there's no point in putting any more pressure on these. I probably will start these earlier next year now that I have my own seed. I don't know. I guess there's not a whole lot else to talk about here. I just wanted to share what's going on the farm at the moment. And I apologize if this is a little long-winded. Just more of an update video than anything. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network.